honey.
Looks like we got a mid-storm coming because it's time for the Challenge USA.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be an interesting week, and I am living for it because was a mess, and I'm so happy. Anyways, welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea to reality. I cannot speak today. Where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am Brandy, a professional fangirl of Counter-Strike video games. As of now, I am drinking water as always because hydration is important. However, not in my cup mug, however, but if I were to,
Cup
mug, cup mug, yeah. Okay. I'll always get it on G Creations on Etsy as always, because we have them. So.
And yeah, it is Brooke, a queer college graduate who plays way too much effing Smash Bros. President of the Amanda Garcia fan club. I am very sad at episode 4. I'm sorry I was not on last week to discuss, but I'm mad. It's BS. Shouldn't have been a double.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm. Also, they gave her pole Russell. She got set up. Regardless, I have been playing the game of sleeping because I need to sleep. And right now, I am playing the game of getting bored at yet another season of the challenge.
Yeah, this season feels weird because like last season, I didn't know what to expect. It was like the first Challenge USA, and then this season's like, oh, it kind of amped up a little, but in a very weird way. I don't know how to describe it because like I had very, very high expectations last week. I mean, well, last season. And then this season's like, okay, the drama like went way up. However, I don't know how I feel about it now.
I mean, I'll be honest, I continue to get upset watching the challenge every time there is a season that involves a certain person that is the only female veteran left on this cast. Because, okay, hold on. There's a reason, though. It's not, I hate Tori Deal. I don't like her.
No, it's fine, yeah. I just love your, like, discourse with Tori, but I love it, so.
Okay, the reason why I don't like Tori Deal is because we know the cameras refuse to portray her negatively, right? And that bothers me a little bit because she is so fake and the fandom dislikes her so much, right? Casuals don't watch the challenge, okay? No, it is the hardcores. The hardcores watch the challenge, and none of us like Tori Deal. And I wish that MTV and CBS would recognize that, but they never will, and that's annoying.
I mean, meanwhile, the casual that I am, and like me watching Tori right now, like, yeah, I don't like her at all. I do not like her.
Like, exactly. And who do you like? You like Michaela, right?
Oh, I love Michaela.
Exactly. Honestly, these past 2 episodes just reminded me a lot about why I stopped watching the main series of the challenge.
Oh yeah.
Which I will be tuning into 39 because Tori is not on that cast. So,
that's right. I know that's right.
Yeah, that's so true. But it's completely new champion. She's going to be on 1 episode, and then I don't have to deal with her ever again. But regardless, I love how all these people like call Amanda Satan because she's honest, and yet Tori is the fakest human being that has, I believe, ever been in a challenge house. But whatever. Regardless, episode 5 happened, so let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, things got heated after Desi defected, and rightfully so, because if she wants to like stay protected where she is, and switching with Alyssa S. And do you think that's strategic or no?
I think for her game, and honestly, I think it helped out Alyssa S too.
No, it did. It actually did.
I could have seen a world where Green wins the next challenge, and they have to vote in a girl, and they're not gonna vote in like most of the people on red or blue because you have Survivor, Big Brother, Wes, right? So it could have just been an easy. Well, none of us really have a close relationship with Alyssa S, and I could see that being the Survivor plus Wes consensus to send her in. And I don't even think it's unfathomable that she would have gotten votes to be sent in the hopper. I mean, she's already gotten a few. So it wouldn't surprise me if we did see Alyssa S get thrown in. I'm happy she switched, or maybe was forced to switch by Desi. And I think this very much so helped Desi's position in the game.
No, that very helps Desi very much because like she has a lot more protection in the blue team, so it makes sense. Like likewise with how Bananas defected to blue for the same reason.
Exactly. And the other thing that I think Desi realized is, hey, if we lose, I have 3 people on this team who will never write my name down. And also, I guarantee these people are going to think I'm worth more than Alyssa S. And she's kind of right, at least in terms of like a challenge position, right? But the other thing is, she has so many people on that team that she can work with, and she knows that, and she's being very smart. So yeah, Alyssa S getting a boon, but Desi I think got a big boon here.
No, yeah, like it's funny to think about because like now blue team's like fully stacked in a way because it's like you have like everyone in the blue team right now, like they still got their 8 people, which is like shocker. And then everyone else's number is dwindling because at this point, Green has 5 or 6. I'm trying to remember.
Green has 5.
5. Okay.
5 because they lost Amira Lewis, and I'm not even going to say her name because it'll make me sad again.
Yeah, don't worry, don't worry.
Johnny and Paulie. So I mean, at this point, Blue has been cooking, and not even from a challenge perspective, because I mean they've won a few of the challenges, but even more importantly, they're just not losing anybody, and it's not like Blue people haven't been thrown in. Tori got thrown in, Chris got thrown in. At this point, I mean they've had people go into eliminations, but they just won and they haven't went home.
Now I will say this because I really hope like I see a shift within the blue team like in the foreseeable future because like we kind of did see it in this episode in a way, but like I want to see like
that point.
I want to see like a full like spat between the blue team just to be like, all right, this is what's happening. This is like, but yeah. I mean, aside from that, and then we get a weird segment of Wes skinny dipping.
That happened way later, which we'll get to. But the thing that I was irritated with was Chris blowing up at Tyler and Monty.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was sitting there, I'm like, y'all, you literally have the easiest job in the history of the challenge. Do you know what you do? It's easy. All you have to do is just say, hey, Big Brother and Survivor, we have a grand total of, as of this point on the show, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people out of the, give or take like 20 or so that are left at this point that are from our 2 shows. Heck, we could probably even get Dusty involved and just have an amazing, have a CBS party, okay?
Literally.
Truly, y'all have an easy job. You have 4 people left. You've done a good job so far. You've gotten out 2 of the vets, okay? And let's be honest, if that one elimination had happened and Bananas had went in against who was the Hopper pick? I don't remember. But
Polly.
the in episode 2, not I guess Paulie, the drop the ball elimination that Tori and John A had, right?
Oh.
If it was Fessy or let's see, if it was Corey, who was the like popular male pick there, right? If it was Corey or if it was Paulie or Dusty, even probably, Bananas probably doesn't come out of that. So it's not like they haven't been close, but like they just need to keep sending them in because eventually they're gonna lose. They can't win at everything. They're not perfectly well-rounded people.
Yeah.
So then we go to the challenge, which I was very happy about because I love watching these like mini finals that they do sometimes. It reminded me of, I forget which season it was, but the one, I think it was the Ruins where they had the trek up the mountain with the puzzles every week for the elimination. Big fan of that elimination format. But so each person has to carry a box proportional to their weight to the finish line of this race. Problem being the hiccup being that they can stop at a puzzle station, right? And inside of each person's box is a different puzzle that they can attempt, so they can lose the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they finish the puzzle, sure, they're taking some time, but they're losing a box. So it's the risk reward of, do we think we can finish this puzzle in enough time to cover what we had to stop for?
Yeah.
And I love these challenges. They've been doing them for years, but
I love this. I love this challenge because this is like you have like part of your brains with like obviously making sure you want to lighten your load, but at the same time, like, can you like use that load to your advantage and just like go straight away?
Exactly. So you have 3 teams and they each have a different strategy. Wes, who has done this challenge so many times, his eyes could probably bleed looking at these puzzles. Says, and he's done this before on many a season, which is you do the puzzle at the first station, drop the heaviest load, and then you carry the boxes to the finish line. Don't stop. Don't even consider stopping. Just keep going.
Yeah, because Green only did one puzzle, correct?
Yeah, they only did one puzzle. They did Monty's puzzle. Monty's the heaviest out of the 5 of them that are left. And, I mean, we'll talk about the outcome. But then the red team kind of stopped at every station.
Yeah.
And did puzzles at every station, which choices. And then the blue team, you know, they kind of did similarly to Green. I think they stopped at 2 stations because they were in the lead at station 2. So they stopped to do another puzzle at 2. But the problem being they got passed by red and green because I don't think red stopped at 2. Green didn't stop at all for station 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time, because blue didn't stop again after that, but they were just a little bit too far behind because green, you know, managed to do something pretty incredible with 5 people. I'll be honest. I was kind of impressed.
No, I agree. Like, when you have blue with the most people, like, you would think they would like also like do the same the same strategy that green did with like you doing your heaviest box first, but no, they didn't.
I mean, you would think they would get rid of Fessy's box, which they did,
Mm-hmm.
but like if they didn't do it fast enough. They weren't good at the puzzle enough to do it. And I mean, looking at the people that are on the blue team, right? When you have 8 people, right? I mean, you have Alyssa and Tori and Cassidy, who aren't exactly like huge. I mean, Banana's not even that big either. But then you get people like Fessy, people like Chris Underwood, who are big guys, right? That probably weigh a lot. And even if they have muscles, that doesn't mean they're going to easily be able to carry their own body weight.
Exactly.
And I think it did handicap them a little bit because while they did get their boxes and, you know, they carried them well, they had to go back and help the other people on their team. And that cost them some time. And Green did a really smart strategy of we get rid of the heaviest box and we each grab a handle and we just go.
No, yeah.
Because these boxes have 2 handles. And, you know, it worked out for them because Green team won the daily.
Yes.
Yay!
I was actually happy about this.
I'll be honest, I've been Team Green Team the entire season.
Really?
Yeah, well, because one, even if I don't like Tyler and Monty that much, okay, Green Team winning means I get another week of Michaela Bradshaw. Okay, and that's a win.
That part.
Okay. Number 2, it's just so much more interesting than either of the other 2 teams winning.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So Green Team winning, I'm here for it. And also when Green Team won, a part of me was like, yes, tension, drama. Because, okay, also, that challenge in episode 4, I know I wasn't on to talk about it, the, like, semi-truck target test, whatever we're calling it this week. That might be my least favorite challenge they have done on the challenge in a long time. Not from like the semi-truck, right? I don't care about the semi-truck and all that mess. They've done so many challenges of hopping back and forth between 2 moving vehicles before. I'm numb. But like, I just hate the fact that it was so easy for not only for Blue to throw it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for Green, who literally would have won that challenge.
They would have.
They needed like, they had 20 and then they needed like 9, I think, or 10.
No, yeah, they caught up to red like toward the very end, and then Blue saw that. I was just like, okay, we cannot let Green win. Mm-hmm. So, Which at that point it was just like this was Green Team's like quote unquote revenge arc in a way.
I was here for it though.
No, I was here for it. So
because of the argument that happened earlier with Tyler and Monty and Chris Underwood, also Chris Underwood, he is quickly becoming one of my least favorite people on this cast. I'll be 100.
Same.
He's just been okay. I didn't even dislike him on Edge of Extinction. Okay, I felt neutral to him. I didn't think he should have won, but I felt neutral to him. Here, I'm like, yeah, I get why they voted him out. But so Wes, I mean, we've talked about it before. Wes is a very smart guy, right? And he knows how to manipulate people into doing what he wants. So he goes in and he's like, might be a good time to take a shot at Chris. Just saying, we have the numbers to do that. And Michaela, does what she can because Michaela is the only person on her team now from Survivor. And she's like, I don't want to put 2 people from Survivor in. But Michaela, homie, you outvoted. You got 4 people coming against you. And not only do they manage to get Chris up, but they also decide to put up Cassidy, which, I'll be honest, I don't think Cassidy was the right pick, even if they were going to put somebody else up from Blue.
It really wasn't. It really wasn't.
I mean, look, okay, Cassidy, no problems with Cassidy, right? I think she's been fine, totally entertaining, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, Cassidy feels like such low-hanging Survivor fruit when you have Michelle Fitzgerald.
No, I was about to say, I was just like, Cassidy, okay, but you had Michelle right over there.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they didn't pick Desi because they still have a good relationship with her because she was on their team, a week ago. But Michelle not only barely eked out her win and her elimination with Amira, right? It was that close.
Yeah, close.
I mean, you don't even know what the comp is going to be. And you also know that if you really want Cassidy to go in, you can vote her into the hopper. No one's really going to provide a ton of resistance for that, I don't think. So Michelle, I honestly thought was guaranteed to go in, but they're like, no, Blue has 8 people. We got to keep going after Blue. And I'm
they want a full shot at Blue because, again, they're at a numbers game at this point. And, of course, with Green only having 5 people and of course, Blue having their 8 still, yeah. It's it made sense. It made sense. However,
I just don't agree.
Yeah, no, I don't agree. Again, Michelle's right over there, like you said.
And also, I love how Michaela said, so we're not even going to entertain the option of Tori. And then in literally 2 episodes, it has went from everybody on that team wanted Tori to go in to now Tori is totally safe. And I think that is incredibly lame. But
yeah.
Regardless. Oh, also, we then get this random thing where Josh and Cassidy are now flirting. Which... if there's one thing about the challenge, people are going to hook up all the time. I'm not surprised. But Cassidy, girl, you can do so much better than Josh.
I mean, if they enjoy their company, it's fine. Happy for them. So it's I can't flaw on who people like and all. So I just can't really But I know some people say you can do better than that, but good for them, really, honestly.
I mean, well, that's the thing. I don't think it's mutual. That's the sad part. I think Cassidy is just being a kind human being, and Josh has a crush. That's how it feels to me. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those icky, challenge romances. They so rarely
Fair.
They just never work out. Like Zach and Jenna, and Cara and Paulie are the only 2 that. Well, it's CT and DM, but that's beside the point. R.I.P. But those are the only ones that ever really worked out, and even then, that's been very few of the many hookups that exist. If you want to see the sheer number of hookups that have happened in the challenge houses over the years, there is a YouTube channel called Angel Cake Entertainment that literally made a freaking web of challenge hookups. Right?
Oh my god!
It took him 8 different YouTube videos to get through the whole thing. It's
8?
8.
Oh, wait, how long are each video?
Not 15 minutes, but still 2 hours to talk about all the hookups is a lot.
No, literally, I was just I need to know how long this guy took to just edit this.
And the thing is, he didn't even go into detail on a lot of them. It was almost like Kyle has hooked up with Kara and Ashley and all these other people. And I'm just saying.
Okay, that's funny.
It's great. But go watch those videos if you're curious as to why I'm so bored with challenge romances.
Mm-hmm. So before they go into the secret vote, they finally go out to a bar for once. Because I remember last season they went, like, every other episode they were able to go to the bars. Like, this was the one episode they were able to go to the bars. And they were playing this, like, the girls were doing like this like bachelor like type thing where it was just like, ask every single guy, like, what would you make a good like what makes you a good man, and they had to name 3 traits. I was just like, what is going with this? Like, how drunk are they all getting?
You know, I think this show has a lot in common with other seasons of the challenge, which is there's a lot of filler.
No, there is a lot of filler.
It was straight filler. But the other really important thing that happens this episode, at least in my opinion, right? I don't like talking about this person and giving them their due, but I must give Johnny Bananas his due here. It was a brilliant tactical play. We have Operation Hat Trick, which,
yes.
I'll be honest, it's a really solid play from arguably one of, if not the best, to ever compete in the challenge.
No,
in terms of stats.
Like, by any means, some of these challenge people are just like rubbing me the wrong way. However, this was a good move.
I mean, it was a good move, and I mean, I'm not going to knock. I mean, hey, Tori was a part of this move. It wasn't her idea, but she was part of the move. And I mean, just because I don't like her doesn't mean I can't compliment the fact that they made a good decision here, in which they literally said, okay, let's not show our cards and, like, vote for whoever. Let's keep a united front, and we're going to make a list of people that none of us are really aligned with that are either on the Big Brother or Survivor side of the house. Okay, and we are going to pick their names out of a hat and vote randomly. And each person's going to pick a name, and whoever they pick is the person they vote for, right? And outside of one person, they all kept their word, and I think that's an incredibly smart move from their part. I mean, especially in a world where you have Bananas, you know, again, always has a target on his back just from his reputation. But it was a brilliant move. And, you know, when we get to the votes and we're seeing this vote count, it's crazy.
It really is.
I mean, you get votes for, you had votes for Desi, not Desi, sorry. You had votes for, so the person going in is either Cassidy or Chris. So they all were like, okay, guy elimination. We want a guy elimination. Most people were saying guy elimination. Okay, so you got lots of votes for Dusty, and then you have a vote for Sebastian. You voted for Sebastian, right? Then you have Bananas, who was supposed to vote for someone else. Still not sure who, but Bananas decided he was going to vote for Fessy. And, you know, stir the pot a little bit more. Fessy was even a part of this plan, knew what was going on, and he voted for him anyway. I love Bananas for that reason alone. And then you get all of these votes. You got 4 votes on Tiffany, right?
Which is shocking.
We'll talk about Tiffany in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you got a vote for Desi. You got 2 votes on Chanel. And you get 1 vote on Alyssa L. And you're like, what is going on? This is so crazy. And you have all the people in line at the arena just kind of like freaking out a little bit. Like, what is happening? This was supposed to be like an 8-person vote on Dusty. And it just wasn't.
It wasn't.
So then we go to the hopper. And, you know, it has already happened once this season, so why not let it happen again this season? Cassidy goes against Alyssa L., who I will remind you had 1 vote in that hopper out of 12. 1 vote.
It just shows that, again, that one vote can lead you into elimination, and it happened here.
Did you see the look on Tiffany's face when
literally
told Chris to go back in line?
Literally.
No, because I mean Tiffany was like, "Oh, I'm definitely going in there." But I mean, hey, odds were in her favor. She lucked out, and Alyssa went home. Went in. Sorry, Alyssa went in. My apologies. Freudian slip there. But so the elimination is kind of a play on the Big Brother dice veto that used to happen back in the day.
I do remember that.
Yeah, but a little bit different. So they're in these cubes that have these tiny little openable windows that have like little hinges on it, and they have to roll their dice over to these flags. They have to grab a numerical order. And then once they have all their flags, they roll their cube over to this little light. And there are lines on the flag that when you lay them over each other will spell out a code that will unlock the door to their cube. And then the first person to get out of their cube and press a button wins the elimination. So first off, Brandon, what did you think about this elimination? Like when you saw it?
This made me stressed.
Mood.
No, because like when you're trying to move like into a box like that, like how do you maneuver yourself to where like you're not like throwing, like not only because you have to throw yourself in you there. I was just like, what is happening? Like I think I swear I feel like not every single challenge thing reminds me of like things from Mario Party for some reason.
That's fair.
No, because like although like this is not like the related game, but it was like it's the one where you're basically like a cube and you're like trying to like squish the one that's like, going so fast.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but this instance is like you're literally like throwing yourself like across the arena and trying to like grab a flag like from and the odds are like you may not even reach it like far enough. Like and we saw that with like reaching the light too. I was just like, how do you position yourself like correctly there?
I will say I did hate the fact when they were trying to reach the light that they had to like reposition the cubes multiple times. I thought that was a little unfair. But the other thing, this elimination reminded me a lot of Atmosphere on American Gladiators from all those years ago.
Oh,
yeah, because I was thinking like somebody's gonna get a concussion.
No,
like,
literally.
Because we saw them like flop over when they flip. And also, these things are metal. Okay, they're not plastic. They're metal.
Yeah, metal.
They're flopping over, and there's holes cut in so they can open the windows. So there's sand falling into these things too. And I'm just sitting there like, y'all are tougher than I am. I ain't doing this mess.
No, yeah, literally, because like literally the first roll that Alyssa did was like literally sand, and immediately I was just like, up, I'm done.
And it landed on her face too.
No joke. I was just like, I would never do this.
No. But, we do get a pretty solid elimination. It was really close. Cassidy gets her flags first, but she's having trouble lining up the cube for the light. By the time she's done that, Alyssa's got all of her flags. Then Alyssa's struggling to line up with the light. Cassidy finally gets herself lined up, gets the numbers, and Alyssa finally lines herself up, but it's a little bit too late. Cassidy pops open that cage, runs over, and smacks that button. And that then sends home Alyssa L., who really did nothing wrong. She did nothing to go in. She didn't anger anybody. She didn't make anybody mad. But the Hopper just said nah.
Yeah, literally the Hoppers, like the really big twist of the season is just like, damn, anyone can go in. And honestly, like I really felt bad for her in this situation because like after like the moves that she made last season, though, I was not a big fan of it because, but this season like was a way to try to prove herself, and then this one was just like, oh, like it was really a luck of a draw for the reason why she got eliminated.
I mean, I'll be 100. I'm not mad at the move she made. I think it was pretty cool of a move for her to make for her game. I think it put her in a better position. But I think in this particular environment, she just didn't really stand a chance.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because, I mean, she was doing really well. She had a really solid social game. People wanted to work with her. But at the end of the day, the Hopper just said, no, you can't stick around. And that was just kind of what had to happen. Which does bum me out quite a bit.
Now, Cassidy has the choice to defect or not. And if she was being 100% honest because she built her team from the ground up, she's sticking with blue 100%. And I respect that.
I mean, also, it doesn't make sense for her to switch either. Like, I mean,
it really doesn't.
I mean, what's gonna happen? She's gonna go to green. Sure, okay.
But who will she switch with?
Well, no. Let's say she goes to green, right? They just put her in, so obviously they're not gonna protect her. Who does she switch with on red that would change her position from being on blue? At least on blue, she has numbers. You know, where if blue wins, she can protect her survivor people. I don't see a reason for her to switch.
Yeah, literally. So, which is fine.
So then episode 6 that aired last night as of filming. And, dude, I have not seen a challenge flameout quite as severe as, honestly, we got 2 of them in this episode.
No, we did.
And it was stunningly fun to watch. But when you have the episode open with Dusty yelling at Tiffany, who, I remind you, is on his team, right? Because he thinks that Tiffany voted him in to the elimination, which she did not do.
She did not.
Because his thought was that Alyssa L had promised him that if he didn't vote for her, she would keep 3 votes off of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Dusty did not put in Alyssa's name. He voted for, I might add, he voted for Tiffany, which I'm just going to say, he's the one that did it, not her.
No, literally.
But then Tiffany voted for Sebastian. So, like, nobody did anything crazy there. But you then have Dusty going in and saying, I know you and Alyssa put my name in and voted me in. Right?
Which they all did not.
But the funny thing is, not even that he thinks Alyssa L and Tiffany did, right? Which, wrong, but I can at least see where you may be coming from with that theory. Alyssa Snyder didn't even vote. She's on the winning team. She
literally
could not vote.
Didn't vote. Like, the editing for that was just like, didn't vote. I was just like, this is so shady in the best way possible.
You know, as much just on CBS, sometimes the editors have a little bit of fun. It gave me Debbie Wayner's Many Jobs on Survivor.
Oh my god.
Hey, I'm just saying, you too can be a member of the Civil Air Patrol, a waitress, a model, a civil engineer, a molecular chemist, etc., etc. If you so choose, Brandon Wu.
Please.
So Dusty is going in on Tiffany, and at first Tiffany's like keeping it pretty logical. She's like, no, I voted for Sebastian, and he knows I voted for him. Like, we already talked about it. But Dusty just does not stop. So Tiffany gets a little irritated, and she's like, look, shut up.
No, literally.
So all that's going on. Then we get the other flame out of the episode, or at least kind of a flame out. I don't want to call it a full flame out yet. But, you know, Wes has a phone call, which we do know that they get to call home on the challenge pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
And Wes got a phone call, a FaceTime with his wife. I might add his pregnant wife. And Wes was talking about how he did not know how much longer, if he was ever even going to be able to come back to the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will say, on Twitter he said it's because of his business responsibilities, which is why he retired originally, the first time he retired. But it was really, I mean, people have been like clowning on him online for that, but I'm like, yo, he's been on the show for like 20 years. Do you not think he might want to hang it up pretty soon?
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of old now, no offense, but like, and I don't mean that he's like too old to compete. Obviously not. He's done very well.
Done very well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, he just won All-Stars 3 like last year. But he's almost 40. He does have a kid coming. He is a very successful businessman. And he's, you know, doing pretty good for himself outside of this. Granted, he's won like 300K on the show too, but like he doesn't need it. Like he's fine. He only does it because I think he has fun doing it. And
he has a love for the game, and I respect that for him.
Yeah. But if he's in a situation where he would rather not be on the show, or he's just thinking this phase in his life might be ending, let him move on. Let the guy be happy. I mean, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go to the challenge, which I will point out the title of the challenge, High Q. Very, very good pun. Very good pun. And it's also trivia, which I love. but they have ruined the trivia this year.
Yeah.
I'm so mad. I'm bitter. It'd be like if they were like, okay, everyone, you're playing OTEV, but instead of you playing this Power of Veto comp individually, you're going to play it in pairs. It's going to be a 12-person game of OTEV. It doesn't feel right. It's wrong.
I could never see them doing a 12-person OTEV. Like, no.
They never will because it would be bad, Brandon.
No, it would be it would be bad because like only 6 people compete in a veto, and it's just like, and at that point, like take this season of Big Brother for example, they had to technically have enough people, but OTEV at this point of the season would be too early.
You remember when they did that one year they did the BB Comics comp, but instead of it being the really good comp that they already have, they had it be like almost like a part 2 of a final HOH where they had to like knock down those cutouts. I think it was Big Brother 19.
Don't remind me.
It was so bad, or it might have been 20. I don't know. They ruined.
I know it was a recent one. I hated it.
They never done it again. You know why? Because it was bad, and because the other comp is better. But the reason they have ruined trivia this season on the challenge, Brandon, tell them how they ruined it.
Everyone was contributing together as a team.
They got to answer the questions as a team. When I say I was fuming, I'm not gonna lie, because some of the best moments for me in the history of the challenge have taken place in trivia comps. Okay, Cara Maria getting asked, what did Boxer Cassius, what is the real name of Muhammad Ali before he changed his name to Muhammad Ali, and answering, and I quote, Mahatma Gandhi.
Oh no.
So funny. You also have Bananas thinking that Australia spoke Dutch.
Hello.
Yeah, just so many quality moments. If you there's a whole compilation of them on YouTube. Just challenge trivia moments. It's so great.
When I got a taste of that last season, I was just like, damn, some of these people are useless. AKA David. No, don't get me started. Anyways.
So basically, the way it works is they're all laying on a plate of glass, right? A thick plate of glass. And the way it works is if the team gets a question wrong, TJ presses a button and the glass tilts, right? And then every time that happens until they slide off, so they have to like stick their body to the glass with as much friction as they can. And at first I'm like, okay, that's really cool. And then I realized, oh wait, it deliberately sabotages people with bigger bodies, which is an immediate L to me. But so at first you have pretty easy trivia questions. Blue team still somehow manages to get the first 2 wrong, which
literally. I was just like, what the fuck?
Also, am I the only person thinking that blue got more questions wrong than green and red, and yet they had a significantly lesser of a
Exactly. I was about to clock that. I was just like, wait a minute. Like blue's getting more of these questions wrong, yet how come like more red and green is like getting more tilted than the others?
The way I figured, they probably just edited some of the questions out. But like even then, that could be something that you could show on like a time lapse or something, you know. Or you could even just go like, blue team's starting to get some of these questions right, or something like that. Like,
or they just like purposely aired the ones that they got wrong just to like embarrass them. Because one question that still irks me is, and we talked about it before we got on air, is
Story deal with JoJo Siwa?
Yeah, JoJo Siwa.
What TV show did JoJo Siwa get famous on? Okay, I can get if you don't know she was on Dance Moms. Okay, I think that's crazy that anyone doesn't know that, but I can understand. But when you answer Dancing with the Stars, which you have to be famous to be a part of,
oh my god,
cringe. You also have such gems as Chris Underwood very clearly telling them that the capital of Canada was Ottawa, and them answering, I believe, Ontario.
No, Montreal.
Okay, well, at least they named a city. But, like...
yeah, they almost said all the provinces, and I'm just like, girl, like, I understand you're under pressure, but, like, I could have answered these, like, in the back of my hand. Like, no.
I mean, literally, I think there was one question out of all of these trivia questions that I did not know. And other than that, I'm like, y'all, I get Johnny even talked about it. Like, I can answer all these questions when I'm on the ground, but there's just something different that hits you when you're up there.
I guess.
But like, really,
Mm-hmm.
So first team to start sliding in, you get some green people slide in, and it ends up getting down to just Alyssa S by herself, hanging up there on her own. Then blue team is somehow like pretty much like barely even inclined, even though they've gotten like 4 wrong on screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird to me. This whole episode is sus, by the way. Let's talk about that.
No, it really is. It really is.
Yeah. But then you go back to red. Everybody starts sliding off the red one. It gets down to Tiffany, right? So then Alyssa S gets asked something. I don't even remember what she got asked.
It was like, how many amendments was in the Constitution?
Which, I'll be real, I didn't know that, but like...
No, because, well, here's the thing, because, like, I knew the answer, I blanked immediately, because I immediately said 10, because I thought just the Bill of Rights,
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait, this is overall, so, like, I knew it was 27, and it was just like,
It was
and then when she said 13, I was just like, okay, I can understand why.
I mean, I can understand that she hasn't been in school in a long time, and I'm betting you history wasn't her subject of choice.
Yeah.
But by the time they get her up there, okay, I want to point out, this girl is hanging on by an arm and her leg. Right?
Literally.
And you saw her look at the glass, and she's like, nah. And she just peaced out.
Yep.
She's not going to go in. She knows that no matter what team picks her, she's not going to go in.
Yeah, she wasn't going to go in, so it didn't even matter.
And also, I guess in her mind, especially if blue is going to win, she's not going to go in. So, you might as well just take a dip, avoid everything, and move on. Tiffany, on the other hand, is hanging on pretty sturdy, right? Blue team gets a question wrong. They do the tilt. But then when they pan out, because they panned out to show all 3 of the glass panes, I'm like, blue's gotten 5 questions wrong. And we've seen red get 3 wrong. And yet blue's pane of glass is like this.
No, yeah, literally. So like blue was like this, and then Tiffany's was like literally like this. I was like, what the hell?
And Tiffany finally slides off the wall, which I can't blame her. She did her best. But like, something's going on with that challenge. Blue did something, or we just missed something in editing. But they need to fix this in the future, because blue won. But, like, we need some transparency here as to how their pane of glass was not as tilted as reds or greens. Or not even more tilted than red.
I was going to, yeah, because, like, part of me was just like, is it because they had 8 people? But I can't, like, think about that, because I was just like, if that was the case, then they probably, like, tilted it just enough. So we're like, but at the same time, it was just like,
oh, also, special shout-outs to Monty, who clearly said that he thought their team having less people was an advantage in this challenge, where people need to give their collective conscience and collective knowledge a shot. So thank you for that, Monty.
And they were the first team to go.
And they're the first team out. Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. Like,
middle team most.
Yeah, but even then, like, blue still was just like not giving like the correct answers, like, for the life of them, and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
The only one that I didn't know that they got wrong was the one about the guitar player that played the guitar with his teeth. I didn't know that. But
no, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm whatever. But blue team wins. Yay! Another week of Tory deal. Yay! So thrilled. So, before the vote, we have Tori and Johnny talking. And Johnny's like, look, it does not matter what we say to these people, okay? There are 4 people from Survivor on this team. They are pretty much going to do whatever they want to do. So instead of going in there and trying to strong-arm something, why don't we just agree with whatever they say, or at least don't directly challenge them on whatever they say?
Mm-hmm.
And Tori agrees, which is probably the second best decision she's made all season.
Surprisingly.
Tori is actually doing something good for once in her challenge career. So, regardless, we go into the deliberation. It's pretty clear what they want. You already have People are wanting Wes's head on a platter here. I'm surprised Chris did not push for Monty or Tyler, but they kind of just let it go. So everyone, including Johnny and Tori, all voted for Wes. And then they decide to send in Tiffany with the hopes that because Wes is up there, people are going to send in men and make it a male elimination, and Tiffany will just be fine. Which I will say, it is risky sending, in the words of the house, not my words, a layup into an elimination situation like this, or even one person going rogue, because Wes does get a vote. If Wes was like, I'm going to put in, like, I don't know, let's say, like, Alyssa S. or something like that into this challenge or something, she's holding a win. So, like, I get the idea, but it was risky. I'll say that.
Yeah. And that point, because like with this blue team meeting specifically, because like they all had the consensus with Wes, but they weren't too consensus on which female they were gonna put, either Tiffany or Alyssa. But it was just like,
yeah. Johnny said he wasn't gonna say Tiffany's name, so he said Alyssa. And then I don't remember who the other person was that said they weren't gonna vote for Tiffany, but somebody else said they weren't voting for Tiffany.
Desi, I think.
Might have been Desi. But they send in Tiffany and Wes, which I think one of those was a choice, and the other one was a pretty good choice. For the blue team specifically.
Yeah.
So then, it has been a week of Big Brother for us. We've just seen the Heisem apology tour not pan out as planned, and in this episode, the Wes apology tour does not go well either. You get Wes going up to everyone saying, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I'm not going to tell you what to do. All I'm going to ask you is for you to do a girl. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just filing my nails because I know how MTV editing works. And I know they're going to show this entire thing, make it seem like it's working and all this craziness. And then we're going to pan into a group conversation of everything. Okay, so we're voting against somebody to go against Wes, right?
Yep.
And what happens? Okay, during the moment, right, there was like a small part of me that thought, okay, maybe he got Dusty. I think maybe he got Dusty's vote. Everybody else was a big fat no.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, this cracked me up because I was just like, I remember, like, I don't know who it was specifically, but it was like, so we're voting a guy, right?
Yeah.
And then Michelle walks in like, am I intruding anything? I'm just like, no, just come in right here. Just like, this is the plan right now. And I'm just like I know Wes is advocating for a girl to go in, but if I'll be honest, we're trying to get Wes out.
So we go to the voting, right? And for the most part, it seems to be pretty much a consensus on Dusty. But we do get two votes shown that were really interesting to me. So Michaela votes for Alyssa S, which kind of confused me. And then I remembered, oh, wait, who are the girls that are on the red team at this point?
Uh-huh.
There are people, they are literally, Tiffany's already in. They are Michelle, who Survivor, Chanel, who is Survivor. She's not going to vote for anybody on red. And out of the girls who are eligible, Alyssa S is the one that she's the least connected with.
No, I expected it. It was a throwaway, but it didn't really matter. So,
I mean, I also thought I thought she was going to vote for a guy, though. I didn't think she was going to vote for a girl. And then Wes votes for Michaela, which that caught me off guard. Now, allegedly, there is some tea behind why that happened. So, would you like to hear the piping hot tea?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you remember the capsized challenge?
Yes.
Remember the episodes back? So you remember that little clip before where Wes said he was dedicated and loyal to the green team, and Michaela said, "Not what I heard," right? And the show played it off for laughs. Apparently, Michaela and Wes got into like a serious fight during that confessional filming, and they squashed it, air quotes, but they were not friends for the rest of filming, allegedly. As far as I know, they don't follow each other on anything right now either. So supposedly that is what occurred. I don't know for certain, but that is just what the rumor mill has been saying. But I did not think
that's some hot tea. That's some hot tea.
I just didn't think he was going to vote for the strongest player on his team. I'll be honest. But
I mean, you do what you got to do, but at the same time, it was just like, this does not look good on you.
Truly. So we go down to the arena, and we go to the votes, and we got a lot of votes for Dusty. And by a lot of votes, I mean like 7. Yeah.
Yep.
We got a vote for Alyssa S. We got that vote for Michaela, and then still don't know who Josh and Dusty voted for. Which one of them voted for who? But 7 votes on Dusty. And for once, the Hopper actually does what the odds say it will do, and we get Dusty versus Wes in a very, very boring elimination.
Yeah, it really was. I was just like, but then, of course, with Wes's juju, because he said that not comps are his enemy.
Yeah, they have to. So what it is? There's like a big Survivor Gabon style water wheel in the middle of the arena. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
it was funny. It was funny. So they have to stand. One of them has to stand on this wheel, while the other person has to go to these knot stations to get these wheels of varying sizes to turn the big log that their opponent is standing on to try to knock them off in this like bowl of muddy water, right? So they can try to get this tiny one that's not going to be really easy to turn the thing with. They can get this medium-sized one, and then if they don't want to do it with either of those, they can get this really big one, but they have to do them in order. So they can't just say, oh, I'm going straight for the big one. They have to do all 3 of them first, the other 2 first. So Wes goes first, and he's going pretty slow with the knots, but he's not like slow. It's more like he has a plan, but he's not executing the plan quickly. But he's pulling these knots out. He's getting the ropes. He gets the tiny one, pushes it in the thing. He's trying to turn it. He gets a little bit of movement, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, he was able to move it fine, because I was just like, oh yeah, and Dusty was able to like walk accordingly. So.
Yeah. So Wes realized that ain't gonna work, so he goes back out, grabs the middle wheel. It takes him same amount of time to get them one off the thing again. Runs over to the thing, puts the bigger wheel in, starts turning it. Takes him a minute, but he does finally get Dusty off the log. At this point, I'm like, okay, that wasn't terrible. It wasn't like a garbage performance or anything.
Yeah. I will say this. Part of me thought that they were able to take off the wheel and then put another. I didn't know they were able to stack on it. So
yeah. So then Dusty and Wes switch places, right? Dusty goes out. He is like tearing through these knots. I don't remember who called it, but someone called it a hurricane or like a tornado while he was pulling through the knots off the thing. Gets the tiny wheel, puts it in, does not even try to turn the log, immediately runs out for the middle one.
Which is smart.
Smart. You're not going to turn it. It's not going to matter. So he goes out, gets the middle one pretty quick, and he gets Wes off the log fast. Like, I think they said someone said it was kind of embarrassing how fast it was.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So not only does literally everyone there think Wes lost, right? Wes thinks that Wes lost, right? So he's like burying his head in the mud pit, and we even get Johnny Bananas being nice to Wes, which a few seasons ago, imagining that was so weird because they hated each other forever.
Mm-hmm.
But Bananas goes out, and he goes, hey, bud, you win some, you lose some. It's okay. And then they go back out, they get in line, and TJ's, doing the TJ American Idol style.
Not the American Idol.
It's literally the same thing that Ryan Seacrest used to be. The new American Idol 2008. That's exactly what TJ Lavin was doing. Talking a little bit more like, Dusty, you did really quick. You were going through this thing. You got Wes off the log super fast. You even skipped the first wheel. And then he goes, but Wes, you won tonight. And I'm like, huh? No, ma'am. Absolutely not.
So, yeah. How?
Brandon, okay, let's be honest. Do you think they rigged this elimination?
I think they did.
I think they did. I mean, I'll be honest. If they did, We can't prove it. We will never be able to prove it. But it's one thing for us to think it was one way and it just not be that way, right? It's happened on the challenge before. Things like that have happened. But when the entire cast, right, not a single person thought that Wes won that elimination, right, including Wes, thinks that he lost, and then Wes somehow wins, when even the editing was showing that Dusty did really well and Wes kind of didn't. I'm just stunned. Either something got edited off and we didn't see Dusty like screw up with the knots or whatever, which if that is the case, that is something we should have seen so we could understand what happened, or the show rigged the elimination to get rid of Dusty or to save Wes, whichever you prefer.
I feel like how the episode was going the entire time, because like it basically was Dusty versus Wes even before it was the elimination.
Yeah.
Because Dusty was going on that flame out because of the fact that, like, again, he feels like he's being targeted now, and then with Wes being emotional about like this is like his last chance to be part of this game, like it really seemed like it was inedible for both of them. So
yeah,
and how the editing looked again, like I agree, like it did look like Dusty won this, but the fact that TJ said no, Wes, you actually won this, I was just like, either it was very close, or they were producers were swayed and just like, yeah, we're just gonna eliminate Dusty and save Wes.
I just can't remember the last. Well, I mean, also imagine what happens if Wes does leave, right? Not only are you going to keep Dusty, who I'll be honest has not been very popular with the fan base this season.
Nope.
Because he's been riding the challenge people's coattails really hard.
Literally.
Which, I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to be mad at him for playing a game, right? It's just he hasn't been entertaining TV.
He hasn't been, unfortunately.
But you have that. But also, you have the other side of the coin, which is if Wes goes home, we've now lost half of the challenge. Well, half of the challenge vets, because Josh and Michelle and Michaela and Fessy are all still here. But, half of the challenge vets. We're down to Tori, Bananas, and Corey. The only one of those that's even remotely liked by the fandom is Corey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you lost Amanda, you lost John A., who is legit one of the most popular challengers of all time, and now you're losing Wes, who is pretty polarizing, but for the most part, people seem to care at least a little bit about him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also he has this really compelling story, and he's on the team that actually is like the underdog team right now. And it's just really baffling. It's not baffling to understand how they could have wanted to rig this. And it would have been very easy for them to rig this. And I'll keep it 100. I don't think this was the original plan for the elimination.
It really wasn't.
Because, okay, you look at that log, okay? You saw that log, okay? Did that not feel like a joust pit to you? Or like some sort of like rolling log, round-based elimination or something like that? Because it just felt so boring and anticlimactic.
It really was.
Yeah.
I didn't like this elimination because it was just like, this could go either way, and I'm just like, and it didn't look remotely like entertaining to watch, because I was just like, all you're just doing is turning a wheel, and like you put it like the Survivor water wheel, which that got me.
Okay, but also the Survivor, like the log roll comp that we have, like Ingabone, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was at least fun because they played it up as silly and like comedic and like a cute little thing to do, right? That was at least kind of entertaining. This elimination did nothing for me. I was just really bored.
Yep.
It was literally watch person untie knot. Watch person untie knot. Hey, guess what? You know what else you can do? Watch a person untie a knot. And that's the whole challenge. I mean, hell, Survivor has knot untying all the time, but they never make that the entire challenge.
No, literally. So.
Literally. But yeah, Dusty is now gone. Wes is still here, and not only is he here, he defects to the blue team, sending Chris Underwood to green. Okay, now I will say this: I have been rooting for the green team all season. However, Chris Underwood is now on that team, and I must reevaluate my priorities.
No, literally. Like that's the point right now because it's just like it's Chris Underwood, so it's just like
Well, also the only reason I have rooted for Green is one because Wes is my favorite vet that is still left, other than Wes and Corey. I like them both equally. But number two is because Michaela is also on that team, right?
Yeah, Michaela. Like I'm there for Michaela, so
I don't like Tyler, and Alyssa S is just present. So I mean,
okay, Alyssa's present, but I'm glad. Like again, she proved herself this episode. So
she's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with her. She's just kind of there for me, right?
Fair.
But whereas there are other people in this game, cough cough Desi, cough cough Michaela, cough cough Tiffany, that I love, right? So it's hard for me to not go like, oh, they're on other teams. I should root for that team. But then if I root for blue, that means I'm rooting for Tori Deal, so that'll never happen.
That part. And Bananas.
And rooting for Bananas is whatever. I'm not a big fan personally, but he's not like evil. But Tori Deal is icky. But then if I'm rooting for red, who am I rooting for? Josh Martinez?
Just Tiffany and Chanel.
Just Tiffany. Well, I mean, Michelle kind of too. I don't hate her.
I meant Chanel too, so.
And Chanel too. I mean, again, Chanel's also just kind of there this season. They've given her no screen time, like hardly at all.
Well, last week she did get a bit of airtime with like that whole red team meeting because, like, if I'll be honest, like, and I said it's like, and I did say this last week, Chanel was kind of the only one that had the backbone.
Truly.
Yeah. So.
And also, I mean, Corey has been so hidden from the screens this season. Outside of those team meetings, we've seen him do almost nothing. So I mean,
and I feel bad for him too because it's just like, where's this going with him?
Okay, so I just rewatched the first season of Champs versus Stars, right? Where, spoiler alert for like a 5-year-old season of the challenge, Corey was the first boot on that season.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember who he lost to? If you remember who he lost to, it's very funny.
Shoot, no, hold on, who?
Matt Rife. I love from Wallen Out.
Wait.
In a freaking ball throwing competition, I might add, by the way.
Okay then.
Yeah, very entertaining comp though, by the way. But no, like in that same season, Corey was kind of invisible from the edit until literally the last like 20 minutes of the first episode, where they're like setting him up for the elimination. So I mean, Corey has always kind of been one of those challengers that is either like dominating the edit or he's just completely not present at all. And right now, he's just not present at all.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Okay, so are you still unspoiled on who the winners are?
Again, I want to be surprised about this. So, and we're also recording, so we don't want to like reveal anything.
Correct. So what I'm gonna ask you is, Brandon, have you changed your winner picks, or are you still lining up with Desi and Wes?
Oh God, this is tough for me because like, I think I'm still on Wes.
Okay.
But when it comes to the women, it's so like hard because like I love like a lot of these women because like I love Desi, I love Michaela, I love Tiffany. Like I said Desi from the very beginning because like she has something to prove from last season after she got robbed.
Enzo.
Yep. But I might change it to Michaela now.
Okay, so now we're on Michaela and Wes. Imagine a world where Michaela and Wes won after all of this mess.
No, literally.
I would be here for it.
I would be here for it too, but anything can happen because like it really showed with Alyssa L being eliminated in episode 5. I was just like, so like it can be anyone's game, and that was like the same thing with how Paulie got eliminated, though I wasn't not as affected by his elimination. I was a little more affected by Alyssa's because like she did have kind of something to prove in a way, but like I just felt like her like run on this season was much shorter than last season, which was very surprising to me. So at this point, like seeing how Michaela is like fighting for like what she's trying to do, like I can see like again, like I think it's gonna be Michaela now. So like I still love Desi, but I can see Michaela trying to like pull this off in a way. So, But for the guys, like it's very up in the air. So, but even though I'm so like rooting for Wes in a way, so even though he did irk me this episode.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think Wes irked me this episode. I just think it was really stupidly funny because he doesn't really get flame out episodes very often. So it was funny watching.
I mean, he didn't necessarily flame out. He just was just like got caught up in like himself to like be sure that he wants to do well.
Exactly.
Like the little flame out was Dusty because like he like blew up on someone that did not even like go for him.
There is never a wrong time for drama in the challenge house unless it's completely unnecessary and pointless, in which case people will not be a big fan of that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was this week. So
yeah, that was this week of the Challenge USA. Tune in next time for us to be even more irritated with the presence of Tori Deal.
Well, that, but also more love is in the air apparently. No, yeah. When I saw the Tyler makeout session, I was just like, oh, what is this now?
When we're not gonna spoil who it was with, but I'm just saying, if what I have heard is true, she has really kept in her same archetype on these shows. That's all I have to say. Yeah. But yeah, if you guys are interested in watching our next episode of the Challenge USA, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, punch that notification bell, do all the YouTube things if you're on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, go ahead and give us add us to your like playlist, your like podcasts, so that way you get notifications when we drop new episodes. We will be dropping a lot of new episodes this week on a lot of different things on this and our Drag Race channel, the Cut Pod. So if you're interested in any of that, go ahead and follow us there too.
Yeah, and also follow us on our individual accounts as well. Follow me on Twitter, follow Brooke on Twitter, follow me on Twitch if you want to. Also follow me on YouTube because I'm trying to get into like more commentary stuff, and also like if I get back into streaming when I do, because again, life happens because I'm a busy bitch. But yeah.
But if you want to support the Cup directly outside of subscribing and following and doing all that fun stuff, one, you can follow us on Twitter at the Cup Pod. But secondly, you can buy your cup
mug. Cup mug.
at LornaGCreations.etsy.com, alongside some other merch and some other non-cup related merch items as well. So yeah, Challenge USA, having a good time here. Also, if you're interested in watching our coverage from some of the other shows that these people are on, we do live streams of Big Brother every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, talking about feeds. And currently, we are in the middle of Cup Refilled Survivor Edition, and we're about to start a new season this Saturday. You'll see what that is. It's already been spoiled. You already know it's Survivor Cagayan if you watch our other coverage. So,
I'm excited about that. So
randomly, we just happen to have gotten Heroes versus Villains first, and then Cagayan. So I don't know. Maybe next we'll get a bad season, like I don't know, Nicaragua.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're interested in looking into any of that or any of the other stuff we talk about, I will one day make these people talk about America's Best Dance Crew. Go ahead.
Oh, I want to do that. I actually want to do that. So
yes, Brandon, you're the best. Regardless, it has been a lovely time, but I am sleepy. Brandon is sleepy, and we have talked about this show to death.
Yes. So, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye now.
Bye, Tori Deal.
I just love how it's just like this is like a kind of a hate account for Tori, but in a way it's just not really a hate. But yeah.
Hey, let's keep it a buck, okay? It is not the first person to come